Washer and Guard, and we're so happy to be back once more. And thank you so much for watching our videos, and in fact we really appreciate the interactions, the questions, and it's good to know that one way or the other this program is helping you towards your building, your property, and anything you're doing to make sure that you secure a place for yourself somewhere in the promised land, Africa. Now today we'll continue with our discussion and obviously updating you on things that we're doing regarding our project. Today we're going to talk about the cost of building a property in Ghana or developing a property in Ghana, especially the foundation. This is the part 2 of the continuation of the part 1. I don't know if you've watched. If you haven't watched the part 1, please kindly go to just scroll down and find the video and watch. We have lots of information there that will help you. So Kingsley is here to give us more information. Kingsley, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Right.
Hi guys, nice to see you again. So really, in this video, what we want to cover, we want to present to you the 5 main high-level steps that your builder will go through as it relates to the foundation. And these 5 level steps will start from the digging of the soil to the filling of the foundation, all the way up to casting the ground level concrete slab itself. We want to give you that 5 high level steps so that you can monitor the process yourself and really understand and make sure your builder is doing what he's supposed to be doing. Yes, very, very, very important, especially in Ghana. Now, our aim, we hope that by the end of this video you will be armed with the correct knowledge, with the correct know-how about what is happening, and also be able to make a reasonable budgetary allowance.
That's important, isn't it? Yeah.
Be able to make a reasonable budgetary allowance for the cost of your foundation. Okay, and at the end of the video we'll give you some typical figures in cost per square meter, so that depending on the area of your foundation you can make a reasonable allowance. So here we go. Let's move on to the steps, the all important steps I just mentioned. Now, in order to understand these steps, I've placed a diagram on your screen, and it's important that you understand what this diagram means. I've labeled it accordingly, so let's go through each area to help you understand that. And as my wife said, if you haven't watched the Cost of Building in Ghana Foundation Part 1, please go back and do so, because we can't cover everything in one single video, so you need to watch them all, like a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, so you can see on the diagram on your screen, the diagram on your screen really represents, if you like, the cross-section of a typical building foundation. There are some grey areas you can see on the diagram, and I've pointed out to call that area the base soil. Basically, the base soil is really the soil of your land. The soil of your land, after you clear the land, after you do the land clearing, is your base soil. So as the guys dig around, the soil that remains there is your base soil. You can also see the starter pillars, and as we mentioned in the other video, there are always pillars and columns in a building, and they start from the foundation all the way up. So during the foundation stage, they're called the starter pillars or the starter columns. So you can see that in the diagram as well. Now, on top of the base soil, you can see I've labeled something called hardcore laterite. Okay, hardcore laterite is a filling that you fill in the foundation. We'll go through more details of that later on. Then you can see what we call DPC and DPM. DPM is the damp-proof membrane. That's a membrane that sits just below the concrete slab, and is very, very important. Again, I'll go into more details soon. Very, 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 very important to prevent rising damp. And then you have the damp-proof course, which also comes in between the walls. Also very, very, very essential indeed. That's
very important, because in Africa you've got a lot of moisture. So you have all these things damp building on the wall, on the floor. So it's very important that if you do that stage, you take it very seriously.
Absolutely. I mean, some builders ignore it, hence the reason why I'm going to go into details. Exactly that. And then finally, you can see on the diagram, you can see the 100 millimeters of concrete slab and the 50 millimeters of screed, which goes on top of the slab, and basically that completes your foundation. That represents the composition of your foundation. So,
what's the screed?
The screed. Oh, yeah. Basically, okay, the screed is like a smooth surface. It's a smooth surface, typically about 50 millimeters, which is about 2 inches. is a smooth surface that goes on top of the concrete. And you know the concrete itself is quite rough. So they put a smooth surface, which is the screed, on top of the concrete, so that you can now place your tiles on the screed, or whatever floor finish that you have now goes on the screed. Because, for example, if you put your tiles directly on the concrete is rough. The tiles will be, wonky. So you put a 50 millimeters of screed, which is a smooth surface, then you put the tiles or the floor finish on top. Also, some of the pipes, sometimes you have pipes on the ground on top of the concrete, pipes for that the electrical cables will go through to your sockets and stuff. So when you do the screed will cover those pipes as well. So they're not exposed.
They're not exposed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
what's the material made of, do you know?
Very good. The screed is made up of cement and sand. Typically 1 part cement to about 3 to 5 parts of sand. Whereas the ground concrete is made up of 1 part cement, 3 parts sand, and 6 parts gravel and stones, which makes it rough.
Honestly, I wish I was just there to watch these things. So I have to ask questions.
Oh
now.
yes, please ask questions now. Yeah, because I'm sure you're helping some of our viewers who don't understand some of these technical terms as well. And the reason why we're doing this, guys, so that whether you're there in person or you're remote, you can monitor the situation, make sure the builder is doing things correctly and not cutting corners. Exactly. We live in an information age, so whether you're an engineer or a dental nurse or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can Google and find this information out for yourself to check and to monitor. And if you ask questions to your builder, you let the builder know that, oh yes, this person knows what they're talking about.
You're well informed.
Yeah, whether you are or not doesn't matter. But ask questions and let him know what's going on. So guys, so that's the cross section. Thanks for that question, Chris. So now we are gonna show you a picture. You can see the picture coming up on your screen. This is the picture which represents that cross section. Okay, and I've labeled the picture in the exact same way that I labeled the diagram, so you can match the diagram to the reality to understand what I'm actually talking about. So in step 1, what the builder will do is to prepare the ground and to build the foundation walls. Remember in the last video we said the higher that you build the foundation wall, the better, depending on your surrounding areas and the height. To build the foundation wall to the damp proof membrane level, okay, to the correct height. As you can see in the picture, you can see that the foundation is built to a certain height, and you can see soil in the foundation. That is the base soil, okay, which is the soil. Really, the base soil is the soil of the land. And what the builder will do is to remove all the debris, the plant and material from the base soil, then level and compact it. Okay. The reason why he tries to remove all the plant material in the base soil is to maximize the compacting of the soil. That's the reason why he does that, or she does that, whoever the builder is. Step 2 is adding of the hardcore laterite. Hardcore laterite. Now, the question is, what is hardcore laterite? It's extremely important, guys. Again, you can see pictures of the hardcore laterite on your screen. Okay, the hardcore laterite really is the layer that is put on immediately above the base soil of the foundation, and this is made up of broken blocks, large size slices of granite stones. It's just a whole lot of stones, really, with a bit of sand mixed together.
That's interesting. Why do they have to do that?
Yes. The hardcore laterite is very important for 3 reasons.
Yeah.
Number 1, it contributes to the stability of the foundation.
Right.
Yeah. Let me demonstrate. Let's demonstrate. So if you hold this book, actually, you know what? If you hold the pens instead, you hold the pens, and I'll place this book onto the edge. Right, guys, I hope you can see this. So, imagine if that red pen and this black and grey pen are your starter pillars, okay? And this book here represents the foundation concrete slab that you're about to pour. Underneath here is the base soil, and then you add hardcore laterite on top, okay? Now, you have to compact it very well, so this concrete slab will be resting on your walls, but also resting on the hardcore laterite below. This area is full of base soil and hardcore laterite. So what it means is that when weight is applied in the middle, the weight is transferred to the soil and not just the slab. If this was empty space and you put a big weight here, it could crack in the middle.
Oh, I see.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've only got support here and support here.
Right.
But when you fill this area and pack it with sand, it has a firm foundation below it. So no matter where you put the loads, the force, if you like, is spread into the soil underneath it as well. So it makes this slab more stable.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. So that's it. So it contributes to the stability of the foundation. It adds strength and solidity to your foundation and the ground concrete. It also saves you cost. Hardcore laterite save you cost because, again, look. Remember in the diagram the representation we just did. If you had no hardcore laterite under the soil, that means you'd have to fill all that with concrete.
Yeah.
And spend more money.
Right.
Filling. Hardcore laterite is about 300 mil thick, about 1 foot. You'd have to fill so much all that with concrete, and that would cost you more money.
Yeah, but either way, it's still safe. Either you use the hardcore laterite or you use the concrete. It doesn't make any difference as in the sustainability.
It's stability as well. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yes, the only difference is cost. Now, concrete is far more expensive than hardcore laterite. So if you use concrete to fill up your foundation, then your foundation is gonna cost extremely. It's gonna be very expensive. Everybody uses hardcore laterite.
Oh, right.
Because it gives you the same stability at a slightly lower cost, and therefore you keep to if you like the 150 mil height of your concrete. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's what it is. So yes, I think I've explained all of that. It saves cost. I talked about saving cost and also saves time, because obviously if you've got hardcore laterite, then you only need to add the 150 mil or 100 mil of concrete on top of the hardcore laterite, rather than 150 plus 300 mil of hardcore laterite if you are using concrete instead. So guys, you can see on your screen I'm showing you pictures of the hardcore laterite and how it's delivered to site and how it's filled. It's essentially a combination of both manual filling and machine filling. Some people do it manually. The truck comes along and then you have labourers going to and fro with pans on their heads or wheelbarrows, emptying and emptying.
Yeah.
Which you can do. Yes, obviously it's cheaper. It needs a bit more man labour, but we decided to use a machine. So initially the machine came along. You can see a picture on your screen with a whole ton or so of hardcore laterite and poured it straight into the foundation. You can see a number of pictures. Kept on pouring it into the foundation until the entire foundation was full up. And then what you then go through is you water the laterite. You water it, give it a few days to dry, and compact it.
Okay. Why do you have to water it?
Because as you water it, it helps it to settle and to become compact.
Right.
Yes. So you water it, allow a couple of days for it to dry, and you see that it settles.
Right.
Then you compact it again, and you water it, leave a couple of days and settle, and you compact it finally again.
Just to make everything.
Yes. You want to make sure that there's no air.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to make
so
sure
when you compact it, it kind of expels air. That's what it does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You want to make it solid. Yeah. And you can see the pictures on your screen as well. I'm showing you the laterite being poured. I'm showing you the compacted finish. I'm showing you the guy compacting with his machine. It's like a vibration machine. Yeah. You can use it. You can use a bigger machine to do it initially, but then somebody still has to come along and do the final sort of compacting after it's settled. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that. So because remember that the hardcore laterite needs to be solid. Solid. No air pocket. Solid before you do the concrete on top.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Interesting.
That's it. So once you're happy that the hardcore laterite is settled, the next step is to add the all-important, as my wife said, damp-proof membrane. Okay, the damp-proof membrane prevents rising damp through the concrete slab and then through your walls. I'm sure we all know what rising damp is, but here are a couple of pictures on your screen of what rising damp looks like. The issue with rising damp is very difficult to resolve once the building is built.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. You know, it's very difficult to...
You don't want to have that experience. I tell you, it's not good at all.
Exactly, yeah. You have to start applying some chemicals and scraping
Yeah.
and even it's only temporary. So this is very, very, very important. To prevent rising damp in your building, you need to install the damp-proof membrane. Now you can see the picture on your screen, guys. The damp-proof membrane is the black sheets. The black sheets you can see on top that we put on top of the laterite. That is the damp-proof membrane right there. It is installed above the laterite and just below the concrete. So the concrete is going to be poured on top of the damp-proof membrane. Okay. Now this has a number of benefits. One, it's not just minimizing the moisture rising through your home. It also prevents the concrete from drying too quickly. And because it's very warm and hot in Africa,
it is.
Exactly. Your concrete dries quickly, but you want concrete to dry quickly, but not too quickly. If the concrete dries too quickly, then it will crack. Yes, it will crack and therefore not be as strong as it should be. So the damp-proof membrane allows the concrete to dry at a more slowly, so they can maximize its strength.
Basically, the foundation work is the most important part of the building process.
Oh yeah,
isn't it? Because if you get it wrong, you got everything wrong. Really.
If the foundation is not built on the solid rocks, let's say, yes, the solid rock, then unfortunately things could go wrong. Now, some builders will tell you that some areas don't need damp-proof membrane because they're dry, but you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You know, the soil texture may change in the future. Who knows? 30, 40 years down the line, things can change. So it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Just put it in. It's not that much extra, so you might as well simply just put it in. Just do it. Just do it. So step 4 is the building of the formwork. You know what the formwork is, don't you?
No, what is it? What's the formwork?
You can see the picture on your screen. The formwork basically is you create the form of the structure. So it's all the timber and the wood that is going around the edges. You can see in the picture, guys, you can see there's wood sort of supporting it. Right. It's basically you put wood around the edges and you raise it to the height of your concrete so that when you pour the concrete doesn't spill over the edge.
I see. Oh, okay. So that's what it's called.
Yeah,
I know it, but I don't know that. That's what it's called.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, that is it.
Okay, so why do you have to do that?
You have to do that so that the concrete doesn't spill over the edge.
But that's what you just said.
Yeah, it doesn't spill over the edge, and it can and when you do the concrete, the formwork keeps the concrete in place, and you only remove the formwork once the concrete is fully dry. Yes, and guess who does the formwork?
Who does it?
The carpenter. Because it's wood. It's wood. You know what I mean? So you have many trades on site. You've got your mason, your labourers, and you've got a carpenter who will do the formwork. Okay, and you can see the formwork in the picture. The guys can see the formwork in the picture, as you can see. So, step 5. Now everything is in place, ready for the all-important concrete pouring. So, as you prepare to pour the concrete, guys, you need to make sure the builder needs to make sure that everything is prepared, everything is ready, the tools are ready. Remember, the concrete dries very fast, so essentially, what needs to happen is everything needs to be ready. The concrete mixer comes along. You can hire it, which is probably the cheapest way. Hire it, bring the concrete mixer along, and then mix the concrete on site and immediately deliver it to the foundation, and then level it. And that's done. Depending on the size of your foundation, this could be done in one day. Okay, but what's very important, I think my wife touched on it previously, is the mixture of the concrete. Again, whether you're technical or not, you can ask the question to the builder. What is your mixing ratio for your ground concrete slab?
He asked that question. I don't think the builder liked it. It's like, why do you want to know everything? Let me do my job. Okay, that's him. He asked lots of questions.
Yeah. I have to ask. I need to, because this is a house we want, a robust house that's going to last forever. And the correct ratio for the ground slab is one part cement, or 1 bag of cement, to 3 parts of sand, to 6 parts of stone and gravel. Yeah, so that's 1 to 3 to 6. That is the correct ratio for the ground slab. Obviously, that ratio has come about through various studies and building experiences. That is the strength that you need for the ground slab, because the ground is going to carry the weight of the entire building. Really.
Yeah, is it Okay, is it about the size of your building? Does it determine the ratio?
No.
Or is it
No.
just...
It's just the ratio is the ratio, because the ratio is, it's like the ratio is determining the composition of the concrete, and which is in other words the strength of the concrete.
So that ratio can carry any building.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
That is the typical for residential.
For
residential, that's the typical ratio for the residential building ground floor slab. 1 to 3 to 6.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
that's interesting.
Exactly. And typically, the ground floor slab or concrete is about 100 mil. It's 100 mil before you add the 50 mil screed. Screed, sorry. 100 mil again for residential. Again, it's a standard height, standard thickness, which is good enough for most residential loads.
Right.
Because throughout the years, obviously, the no type of loads you have in the building. You've got fridge, freezer, sofa. It's not like a factory where you have a big truck or a lorry. In that case, you need to make it maybe 150 mil.
That would be different.
Yeah, it'll be different. For a typical house, the ground floor concrete is 100 mil, which is about 4 inches. Then you add the screed on top of that.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So guys, another picture on your screen. Here really shows the completed ground slab and the foundation with concrete. Dry and ready for the block work. You will notice on your screen, you can see the starter pillars, okay, which are coming up through the concrete. And you can also see the damp-proof membrane on the sides below the concrete. And also you can see the thickness of the concrete that I just talked about already. Now those starter pillars, remember the starter pillars start from the foundation and they go all the way up. So they're going to go all the way up. And in our next videos, when we start talking about the superstructure, you'll see how they form the pillars. So, now, as they say, show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. People want to know how much it costs. So how much does it cost, if you like, to build the foundation?
So
go on. You want to know?
Okay.
Yeah. So as we said in our previous video, I think we gave you some figures. We went through the materials list, and again, if you haven't watched Cost of Building Ghana Foundation Part 1, please go back and refresh your memory. But for us, for the entire foundation, that is clearing the land, digging the foundation, building the walls, hardcore laterite, all that concrete, everything cost about 79,000 Ghana cedis. Okay, now the area of our
that's
building,
how much in pounds sterling?
In pounds sterling, in pounds sterling, that's divided by 8ish. So you're talking about, let's say, about 10,000 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, approximately. So it's not cheap, let's say, but it's very important. Now, the area of our ground floor is about 180 square meters. Okay, so if you take 79,000 Ghana cedis, let's use round figures to make it easy, and I'll put it on the screen as well. If you take 80,000 Ghana cedis divided by 180 square meters, you get approximately 445 Ghana cedis per square meter. And that is a typical budgetary allowance that you can use. So for example, if the area of your building was I don't know, 500 square meters, and you're building in these times, you can simply multiply 500 square meters by 445 Ghana cedis, and that will give you a good budgetary number for the cost of your foundation, including the land clearance.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can just use that figure to multiply depending on the area of your building. Yeah, and that's a good. Obviously, in the next 2 to 3 to 5 years, that number may change because things will become more expensive.
More expensive as we,
But if you're out there looking for to understand the budget, then 445 Ghana cedis per square meter as a foundation cost is a good place to start.
Okay.
Exactly. Just to recap, really, on what we've presented today, and hopefully what you've learnt today. You've learned the 5 high-level steps to follow or to monitor or to get your on-site project manager to monitor whilst the building is going, while the foundation is going along. The first step is to prepare the ground. Okay, that's the first step. Prepare the ground and build up the foundation walls to the damp-proof membrane level. Step number 2 is to add the hardcore laterite, water it and compact it until it's really, really firm and solid. Step number 3, add the damp-proof membrane, which is the black sheet we showed you in the previous pictures. Step number 4, the builder will build the formwork, or the carpenter will build the formwork, which is around the edges of the building, up to the height of the concrete that you intend to, the thickness of the concrete that you intend to pour. Point number 5, you will then obviously cast the concrete, wait for it to dry, remove the formwork, and then job done. Job done. You are finished. Obviously, you've also learned how to budget for your foundation depending on your area in cedis per square meter. 445 cedis per square meter is a good place to start, in our opinion, from our experiences to date. So we hope that's been useful, and there you have it, people. That's a wrap for this video. And thank you for sharing. As usual, please like, share, and subscribe, and kindly hit that notification button so that you will always know when Asher and Gad upload a video for your viewing and educational pleasure. Alright, so from you is guys, thank you very much. See you next time.